Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is leave, not because you are weak, not because you have nothing left to say, and not because the other person was right, but because you finally understand that not every battle deserves your energy. There are moments when staying costs more than leaving, when explaining yourself becomes exhausting, when another argument changes nothing, when your presence is taken for granted, and when protecting your peace becomes more important than proving your point. Walking away can feel like losing. It can feel unfinished. It can feel as though someone else gets the final word. But sometimes, walking away is not surrender. It is the moment you stop asking chaos to become peaceful. It is the moment you stop waiting for disrespect to become love. It is the moment you quietly decide, this no longer deserves access to me. Welcome to the Unhurried Mind, a quiet place for timeless wisdom, thoughtful reflection, and a calmer way of seeing life. Here, we slow down. We step away from the noise, and we learn to protect what truly matters: our character, our clarity, and our peace. Today, we are going to explore the quiet power of walking away, not running away from responsibility, not avoiding every difficult conversation, but knowing when staying is no longer an act of loyalty and leaving becomes an act of self-respect. People rarely stay in painful situations because they enjoy suffering. They stay because something still gives them hope. Hope that the person will change. Hope that the relationship will return to what it once was. Hope that one more conversation will finally create understanding. Hope that all the time they invested will eventually mean something. And sometimes, we stay because leaving would force us to accept a painful truth: that our effort was not enough to change someone, that the future we imagined may never happen, that the apology we wanted may never come, that some chapters end without giving us the closure we expected. So, we remain. We explain again. We forgive again. We wait again. And slowly, we begin sacrificing the present for a future that may never arrive. Hope can be beautiful, but hope without evidence can also become a cage. There comes a point when wisdom asks a difficult question: am I staying because this is truly getting better, or because I am afraid to admit that it is over? Many people confuse leaving with failure. They think strength means staying until the very end, trying harder, giving more, enduring more. But endurance is not always wisdom. You can endure something that is slowly destroying you. You can remain loyal to a situation that stopped being loyal to you. You can keep fighting for something that no longer has anything healthy left to save. Walking away does not erase the effort you gave. It does not make your love meaningless. It does not mean you were foolish for believing. Sometimes leaving simply means you have learned enough. You can appreciate what something once meant and still accept what it has become. You can love someone and know that being close to them is no longer good for you. You can care deeply and still choose distance. Ending something is not always failure. Sometimes, it is the first honest decision you have made in a very long time. The goal is not to walk away whenever life becomes uncomfortable. Every meaningful relationship will have difficult moments. Every worthwhile path will include frustration. Every honest conversation carries some risk. Wisdom is not escaping discomfort. Wisdom is learning the difference between difficulty and destruction. A difficult relationship can still contain respect. Both people can listen. Both people can apologize. Both people can change. A difficult situation may still be worth working through. But a destructive pattern feels different. The same wound keeps repeating. The same promise is made, then broken. Your boundaries are discussed, then ignored. You leave every conversation feeling smaller, more confused, or more exhausted. You are constantly trying to earn basic respect. Pay attention to patterns. One mistake can be forgiven. One bad day can be understood. But repeated behavior is information. Do not keep calling a pattern an accident. Sometimes we stay because we want to prove something. We want to prove that we are worth loving, worth choosing, worth respecting, worth listening to. We believe that if we are patient enough, kind enough, useful enough, or understanding enough, the other person will finally recognize our value. But your worth should not depend on someone's ability to see it. You can spend years trying to convince a person to appreciate what they have already decided to overlook. And in the process, you may begin overlooking yourself. You become easier to dismiss, easier to interrupt, easier to disappoint, because you keep returning without requiring anything to change. There is a quiet dignity in recognizing when your presence is no longer being honored. You do not have to announce your value. You do not have to argue for it. Sometimes, you simply stop offering yourself where you are repeatedly treated as though you are disposable. A boundary does not need anger to be real. It does not need a dramatic speech. It does not need an audience. Sometimes a boundary sounds like, I am not willing to continue this conversation. Sometimes, I have already explained what I need. Sometimes, this no longer works for me. And sometimes, a boundary is simply distance. You stop answering every provocation. You stop giving unlimited access. You stop rearranging your life for someone who never considers yours. You stop showing up where your presence is constantly disrespected. Boundaries are not punishments. They are decisions about what you will participate in. You cannot force someone to treat you well, but you can decide what happens when they do not. The strongest boundary is often the one you are willing to enforce quietly, without threats, without revenge, without endless warnings, just clarity, followed by action. One of the hardest reasons to leave is memory. You remember who they used to be. You remember the beginning, the long conversations, the laughter, the promises, the version of the relationship that once felt safe. And when the present becomes painful, you keep returning to the past for evidence that things can still be repaired. But memory can become selective. It shows you the beautiful moments, while quietly hiding the cost of staying. You are not living with who someone used to be. You are living with who they are now. You are not living inside an old promise. You are living inside today's behavior. Respect the past. Be grateful for what was real. But do not let yesterday become a reason to suffer today. Sometimes, the hardest thing to release is not the person. It is the future you imagined with them. Walking away is often easier than staying away. After you leave, silence arrives. And silence can make you question everything. Did I overreact? Should I send one more message? What if they finally understand? What if I was too harsh? Your mind may remember the good moments more clearly than the painful ones. Loneliness can make old chaos feel familiar, and familiarity can look like safety. Be careful in this stage. Missing someone does not always mean you should return. Feeling lonely does not mean leaving was a mistake. Grief is not proof that the decision was wrong. Sometimes grief is simply the cost of releasing something that mattered. Allow yourself to miss what was good without forgetting why you left. The heart can hold two truths at once. I love this, and it was hurting me. Both can be true. Walking away from a relationship can feel like walking away from part of your identity. Your routines were connected. Your plans were connected. Your memories were connected. Perhaps your friends, your home, or your future were connected too. So when the relationship ends, you do not only lose a person, you lose a version of your daily life. This is why leaving requires patience. Do not expect yourself to feel free immediately. Freedom can feel empty before it begins to feel peaceful. Give yourself time. Rebuild ordinary things. Create new routines. Return to places that belong only to you. Reconnect with people you neglected. Remember what you enjoyed before the relationship became your entire world. And most importantly, do not rush into another connection simply because silence feels unfamiliar. Learn who you are again, not as someone's partner, not as someone's expectation, but as yourself. Walking away is not only about romantic relationships. Sometimes you must walk away from a friendship that survives only because you keep carrying it, from a workplace that consumes your health while calling it ambition, from an environment where you are constantly required to betray your values, from a habit that gives temporary comfort but creates long-term regret. Sometimes you must even walk away from an old version of yourself, the version that always says yes, the version that apologizes for having needs, the version that remains quiet to keep everyone comfortable, the version that believes suffering is the price of being loved. Growth requires endings. You cannot become someone new while insisting on carrying every old identity with you. Some doors must close, not because what was behind them was meaningless, but because your life is asking you to move forward. After walking away, your ego may want to return, not because the situation is healthy, but because you want to win. You want them to regret losing you. You want them to apologize. You want them to finally admit that you were right. You imagine the perfect conversation where they understand everything, and you walk away victorious. But peace does not require a defeated opponent. You do not need someone else's regret to validate your decision. You do not need an apology before you are allowed to heal. You do not need them to understand why you left. Sometimes closure is not something another person gives you. Closure is the moment you stop reopening the door. You may never receive the ending your ego wanted, but you can still create the ending your peace requires. Leaving physically is only the first step. You can walk away from someone and still carry them everywhere inside your mind, replaying conversations, imagining arguments, checking what they are doing, hoping they fail, waiting for proof that leaving you was their mistake. But if they still occupy your thoughts every day, part of you never truly left. Walking away is not complete until you begin releasing the need for revenge. You do not have to forgive immediately. You do not have to pretend nothing happened. You do not have to welcome them back. But bitterness is another form of attachment. It keeps the connection alive through anger. Healing begins when their life is no longer the center of yours. When you stop measuring your progress against their regret. When you stop needing them to suffer, so that your pain feels justified. Leave the lesson. Leave the memory. Leave the boundary. But slowly, leave the poison too. Walking away is powerful, but it should not become a habit of avoiding everything difficult. Sometimes you are not being disrespected. You are being challenged. Sometimes the other person is not attacking you. They are giving you honest feedback. Sometimes the discomfort is not a warning. It is growth. Before leaving, ask yourself, have I communicated clearly? Have I listened honestly? Am I leaving because this situation is harmful or because accountability feels uncomfortable? Is there mutual effort? Is there respect beneath the disagreement? Can this be repaired? Maturity means knowing when to fight for something, and when fighting has become another form of self-abandonment. Do not leave healthy people because they tell you difficult truths. Do not leave meaningful work because progress is slow. Do not confuse inconvenience with harm. Walk away with wisdom, not impulse. The Stoics understood that peace begins with knowing what belongs to us and what does not. You cannot control another person's character. You cannot control whether they apologize. You cannot control whether they understand you. You cannot control what story they tell after you leave, but you can control your participation. You can decide what you tolerate. You can decide where your attention goes. You can decide whether another person's chaos becomes your daily environment. This is where walking away becomes powerful. You stop trying to control what is outside your authority and return your energy to what is yours: your choices, your character, your direction, your peace. Sometimes the most stoic response is not to argue better. It is to recognize that the argument no longer deserves your presence. One day, you may look back at something you were terrified to leave and wonder why you stayed so long. You may realize that the silence you feared became peace, that the loneliness you feared became self-respect, that the ending you feared became the beginning of a different life. Walking away does not always feel powerful in the moment. Sometimes it feels like grief, uncertainty, emptiness. Sometimes your hands shake while you close the door. Sometimes you cry after making the right decision. Strength does not always feel strong. But remember, you do not have to remain somewhere simply because leaving hurts. Pain is not always a sign to turn back. Sometimes, pain is the feeling of something finally being released. Walk away from what repeatedly asks you to betray yourself. Walk away from conversations designed only to exhaust you. Walk away from places where your dignity must constantly be negotiated. Walk away from versions of yourself that survived by staying small. And when you leave, do not leave loudly, leave clearly, leave peacefully. Leave knowing that not every ending needs an argument. Some endings only need a door and the courage not to reopen it. Thank you for spending these quiet moments with the Unhurried Mind. If this message helped you see walking away in a calmer and wiser way, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we explore timeless wisdom for inner peace, emotional strength, self-respect, and a clearer life. You can also share this video with someone who may be struggling to leave something that no longer brings them peace. Until we meet again, slow down, listen carefully, know what deserves your effort, and remember, walking away is not always weakness. Sometimes, it is the quietest form of strength. This is the Unhurried Mind, ancient wisdom for modern minds.